Hi everyone, welcome back to Modern Homesteading with Tessa. I'm Tessa and this is the channel where I show you how to feed yourself. In today's episode, we are talking elderberry and we're gonna can some elderberry juice, we're gonna make some elderberry syrup, and we're gonna talk about some different kinds of elderberry as well as some research behind the efficacy of what elderberry does for you. And I'll include links to those studies in the description below. Follow along and I'll show you how to do it. So these are elderberries that I foraged. So I found these this fall when we were out deer hunting. And in our area, we have blue elderberries. So there's a bunch of different kinds of elderberries. We'll talk about those in a minute. But so I was super excited to come across wild elderberry. And so I went ahead and picked a bunch and I threw it in my freezer. It's a lot easier to remove the berries from the stems and things when they're frozen. And so they've just been hanging out in my freezer, but I really need to make space in my freezer, so it's time to start getting stuff out of the freezer and on the shelves in jars. So why is everyone crazy about elderberry? Well, it has incredible antiviral properties. It has been scientifically proven to suppress viral replication. It keeps viruses from being able to attach to your cell walls and from entering your cells. So as such, it helps you recover from viruses much faster, and it reduces the duration of your sickness significantly. In one study, what they found was that it reduced the duration of your sickness by 4 days on average. So they gave a bunch of people elderberry extract and then also a placebo, and the people who got the elderberry got better an average of 4 days faster. It's also a powerful antioxidant. It has more antioxidants than cranberries or blueberries. But basically, the reason I use it is it helps keep you from getting sick if you take it on a regular basis. And if you do get sick, it significantly reduces the duration that you're sick. So, good stuff. So, there's a few different kinds of elderberry. So, there's a European elderberry, the black elderberry, and that's called Sambucus nigra. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And that one grows in Europe and supposedly does not adapt to growing in North America very well. Then there's a red elderberry called Sambucus racemona, and those do grow in North America. Then there's an American elderberry. That one's called Sambucus nigra canadensis. So that's also a black elderberry and grows in North America and Canada, as the name would suggest. And then there's blue elderberry, which is what this is. It has kind of a powdery coating on the outside of the berry. It's called Sambucus mexicana, and it's also known as Mexican elderberry. And this elderberry grows on the basically the Pacific Northwest. It also grows in Mexico, obviously. And so that's what kind of elderberry we have growing wild locally here in the Pacific Northwest. So elderberries need to be cooked before consuming. So they contain a cyanide-inducing glycoside, which will make you feel really nauseous and if you eat them raw, but cooking them for 15 to 20 minutes totally eliminates that from the berries and makes them perfectly safe to eat. So if you come across, wild elderberries, don't just eat them raw. There has been some recent research suggesting that American elderberry doesn't contain toxic levels of that, and so they could maybe be consumed raw, but I would suggest just any elderberry that you're gonna consume, make sure you cook it first. The unripe berries and stems and leaves have higher concentrations of that, so make sure that you're getting ripe berries, pick out any green ones, and get most of the stems and leaves out. And if I'm missing any of the benefits of elderberry, please drop them in the comments below. I absolutely love learning new things, and I'm sure other viewers would love to learn as well. All right, that is looking pretty good to me. So our next step is to get these into a big pot and get them cooking with some water. I think this one ought to do it. All right, there's our elderberries. So now we're just gonna add some hot water, probably about to there, probably double it. And then we'll get this boiling. All right, we're gonna bring those up to a boil. All right, we are up to a boil. So we're gonna give this a stir, and we're gonna keep this going for about 30, 40 minutes, probably about 45 minutes, until everything's really nice and soft and I feel like a lot of the juice has been extracted. I'm also, as I stir this, I'm going to use my tomato paddle here and just press the berries against the side to break them open and get as much of that goodness out as we can. Yeah, so I'm gonna stir this periodically. I'll be in and out doing another chore, and I will come back in and stir and just check on it and keep this going, like I said, for about 45 minutes. All right, we have been boiling for about 45 minutes now, so we're gonna go ahead and take this off the heat and take it to the next step. So I'm gonna use my KitchenAid food mill attachment to get every last drop of juice out of these berries. All right, so there is our elderberry juice. That's awesome. So with some of this, I'm gonna mix it with raw honey into elderberry syrup for use right away, and that's gonna go in my fridge. There's no way I could possibly use this much elderberry syrup before it would go bad. So what I'm gonna do with the remainder is can it as elderberry juice. The reason for that is if I mix my raw honey into this and then can it, then I'm basically totally defeating the purpose of raw honey and negating all the benefits of raw honey. So I'll can it as elderberry juice, and then when I need more elderberry syrup, I'll pop open a jar of elderberry juice, mix it with raw honey, and then I have another batch of elderberry syrup to consume. So let's get a batch of this in the canner first thing. We also need to add some acidity to this, and so we're gonna add half a tablespoon of lemon juice per half pint jar. If they were pints, we would put a whole tablespoon in each jar. we're gonna bring these up to a boil and process them for 10 minutes. Okay, our timer went off, so we're gonna pull this off the heat. It's so pretty. Alright, so that's 20 of those. We have another 20 that needs to go in now. I could have done this all in one batch, but you can actually, in the 941, you can triple decker the half pints if you want to, but it's fine. All right, those are all in there, so we're gonna get that boiling, and we're gonna make the rest of this into elderberry syrup. All right, we've come up to a boil on our second batch, so we're gonna set our timer for 10 minutes. And the remainder of the elderberry juice I have coming up to a boil over here, and then we're gonna add some honey to this. We're boiling. We just want it warm so that the honey dissolves better. But we do not want it so hot. We don't want it so hot that we're going to destroy the beneficial properties of the raw honey. So, this big tub of raw honey. Here's a big chunk of it. Whoop. And we'll just get that all stirred in. Okay, let's give this a taste test and see what we're working with. Oh, that's delicious. I think that's sweet enough for me. Yum. So let's get this into jars now. Delicious. Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, that's 47 half pints of elderberry juice and syrup. So there's 40 half pints of just the regular juice that can be mixed with raw honey later on as needed, and then 7 half pints of elderberry syrup for immediate use for myself, my whole family, and some friends. So that is awesome. That should last a while. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something new and were encouraged to try canning or even just making elderberry syrup. And if you have anything to add, I obviously don't know everything, and I know there's lots of people out there that know a lot more about elderberry than I do. Tell us in the comments below. And then we can all learn together. So if you have anything to add, please add that in the comments. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.